Hello folks, my name is Mark. This is Why I Hate the World. How you doing? So this is a video about Trump's stupid fucking border wall, which was a campaign promise of his since the beginning. That was one of his big promises. We're going to build a wall to keep all the illegal aliens out, and Mexico is going to pay for it, right? And recently there was they did an executive order to kind of get the ball rolling on that. Although the text of the executive order doesn't actually do anything to get the wall built. It directs the Department of Homeland Security to kind of start the process. Right, but he still doesn't have any funding for it or anything like that. So what is this all about? Well, speaking of funding, nobody knows how much the wall is actually going to cost. Trump kind of made different estimates all throughout the campaign, saying it would cost $5 billion or $10 billion, whatever. And, it always just seemed to go up and down, depending on who was in the room and how many cheers he got. Mitch McConnell estimates that it'll cost between 12 to 15 billion, while the Department of Homeland Security says it'll take 3 years to build and will not be a wall all the way, but, will also include fencing, and will cost 21.6 billion. So the question arises is like, okay, well, how are we going to make Mexico pay for this anyway? Nobody knows, right? Because nobody actually thought to plan this. All right, there is no plan. So keep that in mind. Just like everything that Trump does, there's no actual plan, right? So how are we going to do it? I mean, are they going to be tariffs, right? Well, the problem with tariffs is that it could strike a trade war with Mexico, right? And first off, a large number of products that are sold here are manufactured in Mexico, right? And secondly, Mexico is like the largest market we have for everything, okay? There's a 7-Eleven on every corner in Mexico, Walmart, Taco Bell even. I mean, it's like all the American companies that are here are also in Mexico, and they make billions of dollars there. The same way that something like 27% of all the corn exports go to Mexico. I mean, so this could really fuck up the economy bad. Okay, if he tries to put tariffs on them, if he tries to seize remittances or something like that, and Mexico ceases trading with the United States, I mean, it would fuck Mexico up pretty bad too, which would lead to even more illegal immigration. But anyway, but still the economy here would I don't know, it's unbelievable. And I really highly doubt that it would get that far, but you never know with, Donald Trump. So why do we even need a wall in the first place, Well, because the thing is that illegal immigration is not even that big of a deal anymore. You have, so first off, under the Obama administration, we deported something like 3 million people, right? Out of a total estimated 11 million illegal immigrants, right? 3 million of them went back, and they focused mainly on people like lawbreakers, drug dealers, guys who broke the law in one way or another, right? So first off, that was more than what was deported under the Bush administration, which they only deported 1 million under Bush. So all those people out there saying that Obama was soft on illegals and all that shit, that's bullshit. Because he wasn't, right? I mean, that's the record, okay? Secondly, there's more people leaving the United States now to Mexico than are coming in from Mexico. So we have a net loss of people. So it's so why all of a sudden is this big push to build a border wall to keep them all out when they're not even fucking coming in anymore, And here's the thing is that people don't understand, our economy kind of benefits a lot, and I would almost even say depends on the cheap labor that we get from them, because everyone complains about, okay, well, they're stealing our jobs or whatever. Well, what fucking jobs do these people steal? Okay, steal in quotes. Because it's they take the agriculture and the agriculture jobs, and then I think something like slaughterhouses, beef packing, that kind of thing. 70% of all those people are illegal labor, right? They come from south of the border, right? But what else is there? They also they work in restaurants, right? They work retail. They work as maids and domestic help, that kind of thing, right? And like, so those aren't the jobs that, tons and tons of people are lining up for. I mean, those are jobs that anybody can get, right? They don't require, those jobs don't require training or education or experience. They don't require college degrees, anything like that. And they usually pay minimum wage. So it's like, how the fuck are they stealing these jobs if nobody wants them in the first place? What would the wall actually do? I mean, because you have a barrier, big wall, right? You want to get to the other side of it. What do? You climb over the wall, all right? You climb over it, you go under it the same way that, in San Diego, there's like, miles and miles of, they keep finding like drug smuggling tunnels that go under, because there's a big, huge wall in San Diego that divides San Diego from Tijuana. And they keep finding like, tunnels under the wall, right? But the thing is that the border is gigantic. It's like, it's not just, it wouldn't be enough to just put a wall. You would have to put troops to patrol it, and electronic monitoring systems and all that shit. Because all somebody has to do is just go get a ladder and climb the fucking wall. You make the wall 30 feet tall, they get a 40-foot ladder. They dig under it, they go around it, whatever. I mean, it's not, much of a deterrent to someone who's actually like determined to get in, I mean, it's pretty ineffectual. I mean, if you look at, Israel, for example, they have problems with suicide bombers and shit, They built a fucking wall. They still have the problem. It doesn't solve anything, and that's the thing is that, the wall's bullshit, right? Because we don't know what it will cost. We don't actually need it. It's not going to do what it's supposed to do anyway, right? And it's because it's like, the same with a lot of Republican policies. It's not supposed to actually solve anything. It's only there to make it look like they're doing something about the problem, right? But it doesn't actually do anything about the problem. That's the same way that, abstinence education doesn't actually stop teenage pregnancy, or the drug war doesn't actually stop drugs, or giving money to rich people, never actually trickles down to the poor and middle class and help the rest of the economy, right? It's just, that's because those things don't actually solve the shit that they're supposed to be solving. They only make it look like they're solving it so that Republicans can feel good about being greedy, right? That's what it is. So this wall is something so that they can feel good about being racist, They could say, okay, well, the real reason we're kicking them out is because they're, brown people. Right. And we're just going to blame all these economic problems on them and crime problems and shit like that, these people, and building this wall is not going to actually solve any of those problems, but it'll make us feel good about it. That's because that's what their policies are all about. It's all about how it feels, right? And it's bullshit. It's bullshit just like everything else that Republicans do, especially that Donald Trump does. So when you hear them talking about this shit on the news, don't fall for it, folks, okay? It's a horseshit policy, and it doesn't deserve, the time of day. It doesn't deserve rational discussion, because, the only conclusion you come to is like that it's fucking ridiculous. Right. Anyway, adios, folks.